Most of us know that service dogs are highly trained, help their person, and are allowed in public places. But there's a lot more to these animals than meets the eye. Veterinarian Dr. Craig Pryor is here to talk about proper etiquette when encountering working animals. And that's key right there, encountering working animals. Good to have you with us as always. So when we see folks out and about, number one, there are several things that people want to go do immediately, but is it all right to ask, is this a service dog?
So let me just clarify this for you, okay? A public entity may ask if the animal is required because of a disability and what work or task the animal has been trained to perform. So yes, you may ask if it's a service animal, but you cannot require documentation.
Okay, all right.
All right. Let me also clarify, a service animal has been trained to perform a specific task. An emotional support animal is not a service animal.
And that's a big distinction there, because people want to try to lump them together, and there's a huge distinction between the two.
They cannot be lumped together. An emotional support animal has got really two things that it's allowed. So there's two acts that are, one is the Air Carrier Act, that applies to emotional support animals, and they have to have, for the Air Carriers Act, they have to have verified identification, which is your emotional support letter from your doctor, and they may require other specific forms. Now they're requiring that they have letters from veterinarians to prove the animal's up to date, immunizations, is healthy, is able to perform is well behaved, etc., etc. So we've got things like that as well. So that's different. And there's also the Emotional Support Housing Act as well. So the Emotional Support Animal Housing Act, which is you can't deny housing based because they have an emotional support animal. That's the only two things. So I think this is important. Is emotional support animal registration a real thing? No, it's not. There is no such thing as emotional support animal registration at this time. So if someone says, well, this is a registered emotional support animal, no, that's not happening. Now, and a service dog does not have to be identified as a service dog. Many people that have service dogs don't want them to be really identified, so they don't have to wear anything. Okay, that's a voluntary thing. Proper etiquette would also be, if you see a service dog, and you think it's cute and you want to say hello to it, that dog's working. You need to ask the owner. Okay? And then, are animals allowed anywhere you want them to go? No. A service dog is, if it has to perform a specific task. You think about a seeing eye dog, a seeing guide dog. Seeing eye dog, like whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Easy for me to say. Obviously it can go into a grocery store because it is helping that person perform a task, going shopping for food. Emotional support animal is not allowed into a shopping in a grocery store if the grocery store says it's not allowed. All right. Same with a restaurant, same with a hotel. So emotional support animals aren't allowed to go anywhere they want to go. They're allowed to go on airlines with proper documentation. They're allowed to go into housing with proper documentation. But otherwise, the rules are purely up to the owner of that business or facility.
And just to re-emphasize another big thing here, because there are a lot of dog lovers who are out there, they see the dog and they just want to go up and immediately start petting it. Remember, that dog is working, and you should always ask the owner first.
Because that dog that dog's on duty. You got to think about that. That dog is there to perform a task, and it has been trained to do that. It's on duty. It is working. We do not want to interrupt what it is doing. And it may be a seizure identification dog. It may be a diabetic alert dog, something like this. And that dog is really just all about the owner. We don't need to interrupt it.
All right. Great information. Thank you so very much for helping us separate the two. Thank you very much, and we will see you next month.
Yes.